Pickling and fermenting goes back some 4,000 years, but search hashtags for either on TikTok right now, and you will get all kinds of videos of people putting every kind of fruit, every kind of vegetable in jars that you can imagine, raking up almost 50 million views. And we've even seen pickled and fermented products going for as much as $60 for some pickled okra that we found online. So it can be an expensive trend, but how do you do it at home? How do you boil down your favorites into something pretty delicious with an ancient method behind it? Well, my next guest knows a thing or two about pickling and fermentation, with his almost 3.5 million YouTube fans following his Fermentation Friday series.
Today is a very special day. You might ask yourself, well, why? Why is it a special day? It's Friday. That's good. That's a step in the right direction. It's not just any Friday. Not anymore. Fridays? Bye-bye. See you later. It's Fermentation Friday.
Well, he wrote his first cookbook, The Slim Palate Paleo, at only 18 years old. And joining us now from LA is Joshua Weissman. Joshua, good to have you on.
Good to be here. Thank you for having me, Tamron.
All right, so break it down for us. Why do you think pickling and fermentation and all that so popular right now?
Well, I mean, for one, it's good for you, and obviously it tastes great. I think those are the two things that everybody wants in their life day to day, right? And they're super easy to make. Anyone can do it. You need a jar, some vegetables, water, and salt, and you can do it.
And this is also immunity boosting, which seems to be, again, the hot trend and wording today for foods.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
100%. And also, there's gut benefits to it as well. If you like eating yogurt for the probiotic benefits, you're going to get that from this too, except with your favorite vegetable.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that. Okay, so we have an assortment of things in front of me. What's the difference in pickling and fermentation? What's the difference?
So pickling is more of a preservation method rather than fermentation. Fermentation is like aging, and there's actual yeast and like natural probiotics that are changing the quality of the vegetable, whereas vinegar makes something pickled, but it's not necessarily changing what it is.
All right, you are actually in Houston, Texas, my home state, so all of Texas gasped when I said LA, I'm sure that you're in Texas. But no matter where you are right now, you can do this too. So let's launch in. We have some vegetables here in front of me: cauliflower, carrot, bell pepper, which we learned has more vitamin C than oranges this morning. So how do we launch in first? I got my jar too.
Sure. Okay. So you're going to start by just filling your jar with your vegetables. So you can put them in layers. You can mix them all together and put them in. It's totally up to you.
Do you prefer bigger chunk sizes, or do you like small pieces? It doesn't matter.
There's a couple ways to do it. I kind of like to cut my cauliflower head in quarters where you can see that vein, and then I'll quickly cut that out. So you have all the florets on top, and then just break them apart. And they kind of have their own natural little shape to
I have to say, I have a friend who does a lot of this, and I love going into their kitchen. It looks so pretty, all the colors in the jars as it's fermenting. It's really visually, aesthetically pleasing.
I agree. I think at the same time, it could be a little piece on your shelf.
Yeah.
Who needs to spend a ton of money when you could just have your vegetables chilling there?
Now what?
Okay, so once you have your veggies in, I'm going to fit 2 carrots in this if I can, I hope. All right.
Okay.
So vegetables are in the jar, right? It looks nice. Looks almost like a little vegetable rainbow.
It's pretty.
Now, this is the most important part. Do you have a food scale?
I have one right in front of me.
Perfect. So put your jar on the food scale, turn it on, and zero it out so it's not counting any of the weight that's currently on there.
It is.
And you're going to get some water, and you're going to pour enough water. Let me take this vegetable out here. You're going to pour just enough water to cover your vegetables.
Okay. Just plain
and you'll
water?
notice that weight scale,
Tap
just
water?
plain filtered water.
Okay. Got it.
And then so you see how the vegetables are now completely submerged. And what's that number? What's your number on the scale?
My number is 307 grams.
307. Okay. So this is the magic. This is very, very important. I don't like to skimp on this.
Okay, tell me the magic.
Take that number.
Okay.
And then multiply it by 0.02. That's 2%. So for me, that would be 6 grams.
Okay.
That number, that's how much salt you're going to use.
That's where you're going with this. Okay, so that's what we determine how much salt, and that's why this scale is so important.
So you got your water. So I'd honestly, you just use my hands.
Okay.
You can use a grate or whatever, and just filter out that water into a bowl. We got all that water. All right. And then this is just an easier way to do it, by the way. You can do this a ton of different ways. So you've got your water in here. All right. We already measured that, the 0.02. That puts me at around 6 or 7 grams. You can go a little above. You can go up to, maybe 3% if you wanted to. And you're going to add that salt till it says 7 grams. Perfect. And then you're going to get your whisk. And from there, you're going to whisk all that together just until it's combined and dissolved. There's nothing else you have to do to it. You don't have to do anything special. If you want to add aromatics like ginger, or you want to add some coriander seeds, you could totally do that. And then you're going to take your water and just carefully pour it back over your vegetables. Try not to spill because we have an exact amount here. And then you have, look at this. I mean, it's like a little rainbow, perfectly covered, brined, and beautiful. Now, get yourself a lid and just add that to the top of it. You're not screwing it down. Don't tighten it down because it's going to produce a little bit of gas. It's going to produce a little carbon dioxide. It's going to start to bubble. And the pressurized container, screw it on lid, not a fun time. All right, we're talking like pop. Okay, so don't do that. Anyway, that's it. Then you're just going to leave this on your kitchen counter for about 4, 5, 6 days. Taste it. On the third day, start tasting a little vegetable and see, that tastes good, but maybe you want to take a little longer. Maybe you want a little more tart. Maybe you want it more strong in its flavor. And you could do that for up to a week, maybe 2 weeks. I usually like to stop mine in a week. I think that's perfect. So that right there is a lacto fermented vegetable.